Can you hear me?
I hear you great. Do you hear me?
No, I do.
Hi.
I'm just sharing it now. Hold on.
Okay, perfect.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
You can give them a
I
little
hear
bit.
you great. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I do. You can give them a little basis on what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, you sent me that really nice in-depth message. So we can certainly focus on all of those topics. They were perfect. It will help a lot of people.
Just posting it up. So go ahead. I'm here. I'm here.
Hi.
I'm here. Sharing at the same time, getting everybody in.
Yeah, for sure. We got all the people to join. You had a lot of good shares. A lot of people all about tuning in. It's very cool. It's a good topic.
Some juicy stuff. Some juicy stuff we're talking about today.
Yeah.
So tell them what you do so that everybody knows a little bit about yourself.
Okay, are people on?
Yeah, people are on.
Oh, cool. Well, hi, everybody. I'm Lisa Concepcion. I'm a certified professional love life coach, love life strategist, and I help success-minded professionals who have it super together in their professional lives and their careers. I help them to get their love lives on point. And so it could be singles, it could be couples. In this case, we're going to be talking about couples who make a very important decision of merging their lives in buying a house. And sometimes they might be married, sometimes they're not married. So we want to help the couples who might be kicking around the idea of house flipping, even, right? Buying houses so that they can make money on them, and also buying houses to live in for their families. And what ways that they can do this so they can both get what they want out of the experience, out of the house, and that it's harmonious and joyous and nobody fighting with each other. And it's amazing because when I, many, many years ago, were married and buying my first home, a lot came up for me about my childhood and about what kind of house I wanted and why. And my ex-husband at the time had a brilliant idea, although I did not see it at the time because I was not seeing it. It just wasn't. And it was to buy a multifamily property, live in it as like landlady, landlord, have the renters and share our home with these people paying us so that then eventually we can have that entire property rented out and then us move into another one or something, just basically building on real estate. Now I see amazing idea, brilliant idea, one that, would have been a whole different game in my life. But that was not the path that I was to take. So I did not do that. We did buy a house, however. It was a single family home, and we lived in it in Bogota, New Jersey for 12 years. And we were, married in that home, and, that was our marital home. And it was interesting. It was a challenge. The year we was the year 2000, I believe. And it was definitely a year in Bergen County, New Jersey, where we were then, where there was like no inventory. It was the time frame where people were, begging for like, where are these houses? We need houses. And there was a certain kind of price point. It was like no inventory. So we would have to like rush to see like any house that would come on the market. And by the time we saw it, it was already like bidded on and gone. So it was very stressful, and it was a very interesting time, working through that process. And because of the childhood baggage that I brought into the buying process of my first home, and the reason why I wanted the house I wanted and all of this stuff, we ended up finding that single family house, and we ended up selling it. We separated in 2010, and we sold that that one single family house and split the profits of it. No lawyers, no nothing, just, good word. We were still married at the time. We were just separating.
That's
I
Miami.
I chose to move to Miami. He went to San Diego, and then we ended up together again in Miami, but in the end it didn't work out. But we didn't have any drama or anything about, we sold our home and split it. I put money down on it, as did he. And when it came time to sell and separate, we sold and separated, and it wasn't any drama, nothing. So this whole limiting belief about, getting a house with somebody could be really messy and awful, and it's nothing but drama, and, people could end up taking half your stuff, and all of this stuff does not have to be that way. Doesn't have to be that way. So what you do in the beginning, though, and how you communicate on this process in the beginning will, even if you divorce, even if things change, you'll always have that agreement. You'll always have, and again, it depends a lot on, the kind of person you're dealing with when you're married. And so
From your mouth to
obviously,
God's ears.
what?
From your mouth to God's ears.
No, it's true. I mean, look, any situation you go into, we all have the power to create that situation. So I went into my marriage knowing that there is a chance that it could end in divorce, but I will not be one of those people that has that drawn out, dramatic, contentious, awful divorce. I just don't roll like that. I made a decision in my life a long time ago that my peace matters more, and there's a way to create with someone else so that you don't have to have this, animosity and discord should it fall apart. And we never had children together also. So like he could have just like sold this house and wrote me off and nothing. And that wasn't the case. I mean, we really didn't have anything binding us together. It wasn't that I had children and we had children and I had to be in the house. So yes, that did make things less complicated, certainly. Because if I did have children, it would probably be a different discussion. But because of this, and because, there's so much that goes into marriage and houses and property and assets and things, I encourage people to be pro prenup. Like if you're getting married in this era and you're not thinking legal arrangement agreement, like this is what goes down if stuff does not work out, you're a fool. You're a fool. So
I agree.
I'm like the life coach, the love life strategist, the love life coach who is very pro empowerment, pro communication, negotiation, and legal up, buttercup.
Well, that's when I started talking to you because to me, being in a relationship or what I call a business transaction, like, and you're talking about it 150%, but buying a home and being in a relationship or a business transaction are probably the two biggest investments of your life. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're merging lives in a really significant way where money is involved, there's going to be some static around that. However, there are ways to mitigate that. There are ways, and um, with maturity and with the common goal, like the common vision, right? So, what do we want? What's the bigger play here? How do we both protect ourselves? And how do we step outside the emotion so we can look at the deal? Like, let's look at the deal. And let's say we end up together. Is this the right deal? Where is this going to put us next? And then let's also look at if we don't last forever, how would we handle this? How would we explore all those scenarios, but then set the intention and the commitment to go forward with the deal if it's the right deal
And do you think
for
most
the
people do
purpose
that?
of I'm sorry?
Do you think most people do that? Do you think most people
No,
prepare?
no, I don't. I don't at all. And I think that the beauty that we have now, thanks to the internet, thanks to conversations like this, people watching may not even known, they may not even have heard that there's something called a love life strategist, that there's somebody that helps couples have these kinds of conversations and gives each couple a turn without judgment and a safe space so they could be like, all right, Mary, why are you freaking out about buying this house? I'm freaking out because my dad is giving us money for the down payment. And what if we don't last? And then is my name on the deed or is my dad's name on the deed? Like, these are real discussions and people aren't having these real discussions. And I help them to do so, to create that space so that it's efficient. It's like, all right, cool. You're buying a house. Awesome. Congratulations. What do we both need individually to make this a win and to make it feel good? You got Mary freaking out because her dad's giving the money, right? So dad's freaking out too. And then Mary, like, where's your skin in this game? I'm doing sweat equity. Like, I'm going to be all about the tile and the bathrooms and all, like, making it look pretty. Cool. Got it. Awesome. Now, Vince, your husband, Mary's husband, Vince, what's your deal? Well, I'm putting in this much money. Okay. So, it's a matter of discussing this openly so that everybody feels like they're being heard, validated, and they put a deal together where everybody's clear in the mix, all looking forward to the win in it, that it's a win-win for everybody involved.
And that's why we preach ourselves as your real estate superheroes that education and preparation are the biggest things when buying a home, because if you don't educate yourself, you can get yourself into a situation, whether it be relationship wise or financially. And what's the number one problem being Hitch, as I call you, the love coach? What's the number one problem that a lot of couples run into when they buy a home? Financial. And
Right.
that's the biggest thing that people wind up breaking up or separating or getting divorced.
Yeah.
Because they financially don't prepare for things, and then the blame game starts happening. And on top of it, now it becomes what's mine and what's yours, instead of separating the way properly like you would. 90% of the people don't do that.
No. And yeah, like it gets really, like, I mean, look, in the line of work that I do, I see it all. I see the couples who are divorcing and they hire me to help them get through that process. So now it's this contentious battle. They're in a divorce for a year, and I'm sitting there like, whoa, like you kind of brought me in late to the game, but like whatever, like let's try to get you to where you want to go next, which is sorting out these finances, signing papers, getting things sorted out so you can move on with your lives. And so I like to get to the couples prior to. I like to
Mhm.
get to the couples while they're engaged, like engaged. Oh, oh, great. I love them. Like, come to me. Let me tell you how not to screw it up the way I did. I was once 27. I know what that is to be planning a wedding and the catering and the dress and all of this. That's a party. A marriage is a completely different game. So
I
when
thought you
that's
were
over,
27 now.
I'm sorry?
I thought you were 27 now.
Oh, you're so sweet. No, I'm actually having a birthday this week.
Oh, happy
And
birthday.
it's gonna be, thank you. It's gonna be my 21st annual. I'm slipping with the math. Hold on. It's my 21st annual 26th birthday. Actually, no. No, I'm wrong. I'm gonna be 48. There you go. So anyway, back then when I was young and about to be married, that could have been a discussion that my ex-husband and I could have had differently, and probably would have resulted in a good empire, a multi-million dollar real estate empire that he and I could have built.
Mhm.
But because I had little girl issues that I was bringing into the marriage that I did not sort out through this kind of work that I do now for people, wisdom, I brought in a whole slew of, I don't want a two-family house. Are you kidding me? I've lived with people my whole life. All I want is a door that I can walk in and not have anybody telling me and taking my stuff and moving my stuff. I just want my space, my own space. Like this was a major issue. And so just the thought of living in a multifamily house with tenant in the basement apartment and the first level and then us in the second level, however, wait, like who's going to put the car in the garage? Who gets the car? Whatever, all that minutia, I couldn't even wrap my head around it. Now, if my husband at the time, because I'm very motivated by money, right? If he sat me down and said, listen, I understand you have like a whole ton of like little girl issues that you need to handle, right? I'm gonna like
Mhm.
man up and I'm gonna man up and I'm gonna
Man,
tell you, I got you. I got you. I would never put us in a situation that will go bad. And this is gonna be a little bit of inconvenience and you may have to eat a little crap for a couple of years. But when I tell you, we can stand to make a lot of money doing this game. And, you know, and if he showed me the numbers and said, I can't predict the future, I can't predict crystal ball, but I can tell you that if we started with this game of move into a multifamily where rent eventually is paying us, right? We're making profit on this. Then we take that stash of money and maybe buy something else. We start to grow it. Then 10 years from now, okay, now I'm 48. I could have been like retired by now, just living on properties and whatever, and then buying doors,
yeah.
multifamily units and things like that. So, it, like I said, like didn't work out that way. I had to go through my path, had to, go through this journey. But for the many people out there watching who see now options because, the internet is the way it is. You got guys out there like Grant Cardone talking about real estate investing and now doing it without even being involved, where now you can just hand money, invest in someone like him going and knowing the deals, doing the deals, and the risk involved in that. And you're trying to educate yourself. But thankfully, because of Facebook, YouTube, Google, everything we have now, people like you're in New Jersey, yes?
Yes.
I was from Jersey. I now live in South Beach, Miami, Florida. We connected through mutual friends on Facebook,
Mhm.
got to chatting, and bam, within 24 hours, thanks to the power of Facebook, we're able to come together and help the people, give them some insights, give them some knowledge that hopefully will help them out.
Well, we also preach here a lot of the internet phonies out there. I mean, the internet's given a lot of people a way to be phony, to be fake, certain things to make themselves look a lot better than they really are, to make them look like that buying a house, flipping a house takes a week, that, you know,
Yeah.
that you're going to make millions on every single home. So we're one of those companies out there that we're truthful, and we tell people, like, it's not that easy. Anything that you do, whether you're a love coach or whether you're a real estate agent or whether you're an investor, I mean, it all takes work. And the biggest thing that we say to people is, like you said, you know, you don't want to live in a 2-family home. Hence, if you did, you might have had a lot more money in your pocket. But we always say it's want versus necessity. A lot of people go for their wants compared to using common sense or what's necessary for them and what the right path is. We seem, and I'm sure you see this in you know, people, couples, and relationships. A lot of people want to take the hard path rather than taking the right path all the time. So
Or the
we
easy, or the easy. Like in my case, I wanted to do what was comfortable. I was
yeah,
like, I work in New York. I make 6 figures. I'm 30 years old. Like, let's buy this house and live nice and make it look like the Pottery Barn house. Because
yeah,
that was the vision of the life that I wanted, right? But I wasn't thinking 20 years down the road. You know, like they say, you want to eat crap for a little while so you never have to eat crap again. So, I mean,
so
it's important that these conversations happen and that they begin with a foundation of love and harmony and peace
mhm.
and excitement for the process and education. And it's important to seek out the right people. You know, if you have a communication problem within your relationship, that is going to only be magnetized by 100 when you start looking at houses.
And we say that for business wise too. If you don't communicate, I mean, business is easy, relationships are easy. If you take care of the other person's needs and they meet your needs, you should have no problem. If you're doing a business deal, you take care of your job, the other person, because real estate has not only a realtor, but you have lawyers, mortgage guys, title guys, appraisers. And if they're not doing their job, that slows down or can make your experience buying a house a lot worse than what it should be. So we
Right.
find out a lot of people nowadays are incorporating the pyramid schemes, or as you would say, going on speed dating. You know, it's a numbers game now. I don't want to put the work in to be in love with somebody. I don't want to put the work in to use one person. I'll just keep doing a numbers game, and sooner or later somebody's going to fit what I want. When that's
Yeah.
not really
Yeah.
the necessary way of
Well,
doing it.
yeah, and the thing is, like, you want to really educate yourself on the process because the whole deal is a lot of people, like my parents, are going through this now because they have a house on Long Island and they've been in it for since the 90s, right? And now
Mhm.
they're looking at retirement age and they want to go to Florida. So they came down here and then went through that process again, and now they're looking for new construction. So that's a whole other animal, you know,
Yeah.
and living in a gated community where there are other HOA fees and all these other things that they have to consider. So I've been coaching, I have been coaching my mother and my stepfather on number one, the mindset shift that needs to happen to get people who are in their 70s, like to move from New York. This is like a
Mhm.
big, big deal for some people. Like you have roots in New York, New Jersey. It's as if you have cement feet and you can't move. And you know, you have roots and branches that go into the ground because you can't leave your family. You can't leave Route 4, Route 17. You can't leave, you know, like everything that's familiar, and it gets very scary. There's family, all these things, obviously important things to consider. So I've
Yeah.
been coaching on how are they speaking to each other when my mom isn't clear on something, when she wants to know how is the money going to work, how are we affording this house, what about our stuff, what do we sell with the house we have existing, and what do we bring, all of these little details, because those details make you have anxiety. If you don't really explore and have an open conversation about all of those little details and get clear on the things that you don't know about the process, you're going to fight, you're going to bicker, because that anxiety is what's eating you. It's not necessarily the other person. It's that there's things about the process that you simply don't know, and you're feeling a little insecure, and it's normal. It's normal. Just get around the right people who can help you through that process.
And that's a natural progression anyway. Like one of the things I was texting you earlier, the natural progression, especially from New Jersey, it's north to central to south. And being, then everybody move, and New York moves into New Jersey, North Jersey moves to Central, Central moves to South, then they go boom, North Carolina, Florida.
Yeah.
Reason being is you feel better when you're in warmer weather.
Yeah.
Most people are depressed in the wintertime. It's cold out, they don't want to do nothing. As you get older, you move down to the warmer climate. This way you have that sun and that
Yeah.
positivity all year round. But
Absolutely. I moved down here in 2010. It was under very sad circumstances, and I knew two things. If what was going to happen in my marriage was to happen up there, I wouldn't have been in a good shape. I wouldn't, with that weather and that where I was in my life then, I said, you know what? I want to go where it feels good. That's all I cared about was feeling good. I was so sad. My best friend from 20 years old, I went to Rutgers University. That's where we met.
are
When
you? Are you?
Rutgers, what's up? And yeah, and we met there, and for 24 years, like this was the person in my life. And to move away to a new city, you don't know anybody. It was brave, but I just felt pulled. I had to go. And everything changed. When you step out of your comfort zone, everything changes. And for the better, that's how you grow. So sometimes, the people watching tonight might be like, "Oh, I don't know, I'm on the fence. Should we buy a house? We're in this cushy apartment. We're stashing cash. When do we up level to a house? Do we even want the house? Do we just want to buy properties and like eat crow and just live in a rental and just
Yeah.
have properties, which is an option because people sometimes want to be mobile. They don't want to,
You also have to want to do it too. Like you said, mindset earlier. Like a lot of
yeah,
people don't have the mindset. Some people just rent homes because they don't want the responsibility of homes. Other
right,
people don't want to educate themselves. And if you don't want to be coached, then you can't ever be coached. You have to choose
true,
to want to be coached. And that's the
true,
people that contact you. That's the people that contact us. That's the
yeah,
people that actually get the mindset to train themselves to do the right thing or have
yeah,
somebody help them with the right path rather than trying to be a know-it-all or trying
yeah.
to do things on their own and being too scared. That's the old caveman way of thinking. I know everything. I'm going to do
Exactly,
everything myself. Nowadays,
exactly.
with like you said, the internet being out there,
Yeah,
everything is at your fingertips. It's just you got to be willing to be coached.
it's so true. And I coach people all over the world, because we have Skype, we have Zoom, we have all of this, and it's just like this. I'll have a
Mhm.
couple in the little box next to me, and I'm coaching them. They could be California, Tennessee, Canada, anywhere, Spain, whatever. And it's beautiful because people do want to better themselves. They want to improve. And when they seek out these resources, people who have the wisdom and can say, "Oh, don't go that route," or you consider doing this because I didn't and it screwed me. And I don't want to see other people get screwed like that.
Yeah.
But to get around people who know their stuff. And I tell you, when it comes to like you with real estate and that process, I'm sure that you find that you would have benefited with a degree in psychology.
Yeah. And everything, whether it's business, whether it's real estate, whether it's love, psychology plays a part in everything. I actually have
Always.
I actually have a minor in psychology,
So
just
do
so you know.
I.
Yeah,
That's so funny. My major was marketing communications, minor in psych.
mine was criminal justice and a minor in psychology at
Amazing.
RU,
Rutgers.
just like
Gotta love
yourself.
it.
Yeah, that's funny.
So, yeah. So, I mean, it's like what you said was so true, though. Whether it's seeking coaching, in your case, super important decision, huge decision.
Yeah.
And working and hiring coaches to get you through that process. Or if let's say you're in real estate, right? And you love the deal, you love the looking at the houses, you like the real estate aspect, but you don't like to deal with the drama of the people. You then perhaps can bring in someone like me who can be like, listen, after you're done looking at houses, you turn them over to me. We get a little mindset shift happening where they're communicating effectively, they're clear on what they want, they're communicating that to you as the realtor. And this way, everybody's into the mix from like a good, solid place.
Well, I'm going to start talking to you once a week at least because I'm in search of Mrs. Simone too. At 38 years old, I need some help from Mrs. Simone.
Good. Hey, I'm your girl. You found a coach in me.
You send all your clients to me, and I'll send all your clients because I'm tired of dealing with the psychological part of real estate.
Bring them to me. It's all
I'll bring
good.
it
I'll
up
be
to
like
you.
I'll be like the couple's house whisperer.
So what ways do you think that that be like, especially being a real estate broker, owning our own business and doing the deals we do, what way do you think we could help your clients in terms of getting to know what steps to do and what questions you think they might have in terms of buying a house or what types of things that would help them buy a home?
Oh, that's a great question. Oftentimes, I mean, it's funny. I actually had a couple. They were out in Tennessee,
Mhm.
and they had a goal of like 10 doors. I was coaching them in the fall, and he had a goal of like, I want 10 doors by like January 1. And he did it. He accomplished his goal. And I think the thing that couples and you'll even thinking of my mother and my stepfather is whatever information that you can package and sell and replicate yourself and scale it so that it's a very DIY, everything that you need to know about getting your list together of your wants, like how to work with a real estate agent so that you can really find the properties that you want, regardless of what city that you're in. There are some basic things that you need to ask. If that resource could just be in one little box that you download online, and maybe you charge 149.95, and it's a ton of links and information, video modules with you, whatever. You could, I mean, it's super lucrative because
Yep.
everything's digital. And I'm sure that people in the beginning, you could say to them, I only take clients on who go through this workshop. It's an online workshop. It's 49.95. And you know what? Should you buy a home with me, I waive it. Whatever way you want to work it out. But that it's some kind of boot camp, some kind of seminar, some kind of online tutorial, school course, 3 hours of whatever, where you see how all in these people are about the process. So that by the time they come to you, they have their notebooks sorted out, they have their asks, they have their deliverables, they know what they're coming with. And then
Mhm.
they're all in. They're all in. They're
Yeah.
not dabbling. They're not, they're like committed because they're like, whoa, like this guy wasn't messing around. He made us watch this thing for 3 hours. Then we had to do a workbook. Like we have all our paperwork together, pre-qualify leather, whatever it is that you're supposed to have. It's step by step by step. And it just makes the process so much easier. And it's passive income for you.
Well, the problem I think nowadays is a lot of people like everybody is always looking to make a quick buck. They like there's not enough realtors anymore. There's people, there's salesmen out there. And again, like I was telling you earlier, like if you notice, there's 80% of women are realtors. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because 90% of men are stupid. Okay. And nowadays it's everybody wants to pretend they know something. Everybody wants to make the quick hit, but they don't focus on their actual job. And the reason 80% of women are realtors is because A, it's a very part-time job for most people. 80% of
Okay.
your realtors are part-time realtors and really don't make that much money, or they're in and out of business back and forth. At the same time, who's all the contractors? Who's all the people buying houses?
Mm-hmm.
Mostly men. And what do men think with? Men think with their dick. They don't think with their head, they think with their dick. And what do women do? The oldest age of currency is prostitution. Okay. So you have all these female realtors out there showing their tits, showing their ass, and a guy is and the men out there, and you laugh, but it's 100% true.
No,
Nobody
you have to
Nobody
see what
wants
they
the
look like in
education
Miami.
aspect. Yeah, nobody wants the education aspect anymore. They want somebody that they could try and hit on, or somebody that they think is going to pay them attention to, or somebody wearing the least amount of clothes. And if you look
Mm.
at the people, how they market themselves nowadays, people aren't marketing themselves. And this is why with our company, we show you everything we do. We show you contracts. We show you real sellers. Most of the time, people are taking selfies of themselves with ducky lips saying they sold a house. Well, where's the house? Where's the buyers that you sold it to? Most of the
Right.
time, people are doing open houses. That's the number one biggest scam in real estate because people you go in there and you buy a dozen cookies, you buy a case of water, and you pray to God that somebody's going to come walk through the house. 90%
Yeah.
of the people that walk through your house are nosy neighbors. Okay.
Right.
It doesn't cost anything to do an open house. And again, most of these real estate companies that are out there, you're just a realtor. And these corporate companies, just like any other corporate company, they expect you as the realtor to pay for it. But if you're not closing deals, how are you paying to market and advertise? These real estate companies, these big corporate companies, I don't mention any names, but you know them, they're giving realtors $150, $200 to market and advertise a home.
Yeah, what are you
Meanwhile,
doing with that?
Jill is a school teacher. She has $200 to market and advertise a home, and she only does real estate on the weekends. So who's the people that really get hurt in this? The people that are buying the homes, the people that are selling the homes. And you're looking to a realtor as somebody to help you buy a house, to coach you through the process. And half of your realtors aren't even educated in short sales.
Wow.
They're not educated in foreclosures. They're not even educated on how to write up a listing agreement. So now everybody's working on a pyramid scheme where these companies are telling you, hey, if I hire you, Lisa, guess what? I'm going to get 25% of your deals for the next year. Okay. But Lisa's never done real estate before. So now I have to take the time to train Lisa. And every time that I spend with you trying to train you for something is taking me away from the real estate job. Okay. Now everybody's trying to join teams. Oh, join my team. Look at my team. Look at my team. You got a team of idiots that have no idea how to do real estate. Okay. And they're out there posting, look at my house, look at a house. People are trying to sell other people's houses. And the more time you take away trying to train somebody, that's the actual broker's job. A broker like myself is the one who collects money. Everybody's trying to be a broker now when you forget about being a realtor. You forget about your clients. And the most important person is the client. So you see you see a lot of houses in New Jersey. I mean, Florida's a whole different monster, but you see a lot of houses in New Jersey. Before they even sell the house, they go through 5, 6 realtors. I tell people you're better off being the third or fourth realtor in there now, because the first person listens to the homeowner, and the homeowner dictates to them what they want for the house, the price for the house, and it's way overpriced. The next realtor comes in, tells you that the price needs to be lowered. You fight them, you don't want to listen to them, but you lower a little bit. The third realtor comes in, lowers you even more. By the time that you sat there and got your house sold, you're still paying taxes, you're still paying all your utilities, you're still paying maintenance on the house. You lost money. Too many people want, like I said before, it's not the truth, it's what they want for the price of the house. And sometimes the market just dictates. There's only 4 things we always say, in 2 factors that sell your house. You have your price, location, condition, and marketing. And then timing is the biggest factor. And you are the number 1 factor. Because if you aren't trying to sell your house, or you're unrealistic in the price, guess what? Your home's never going to sell. Same way in a relationship, as a relationship coach. If you're expecting too much from a partner and you're not giving back to them, or they're expecting too much for you, guess what? It doesn't work out. And so many people are so worried about hurting the other person's feelings now. For me, if you're not doing a job for me, I don't want to work for you. If you're not giving me what I want in a relationship, it's time to back the fuck away. And you go find somebody else that you're compatible with. You're not compatible with me. And a lot of people don't want to hurt other people's feelings, or they try and use, a friend of a friend of a friend. And guess what happens when you entangle money and friends? The same thing that happens when you entangle money in a relationship. If you guys don't get what you want money-wise, you wind up parting ways, and you'll never be friends, and you'll never be lovers or in a relationship again.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the thing is, as long as people want to be together, whether they choose to marry or not, because that's the other thing, the trends that you've seen, completely different from when I sold my house almost a decade ago. Very different climate, real estate has become. So when you look at relationships in the last decade, there's been this trend where more and more people, especially people who are second time arounders where they already did their training wheels marriage and that went to shit. And now they're like, all right, I'm going to reboot. I'm in love again. Yeah, awesome. But do I want to get married? No, I really don't know. I don't think I do. Like, really, do I need that whole thing again? No. But I do want to be with this person. And you know what? I might even be more mature to handle a relationship now than I was at 25 and the woman I was then now at 47. But do I need the legal part of it? Not really. Now, what happens though when I decide I want to buy a condo or I want to buy a house or whatever, and we're not a married couple, and now it, okay, well, is this now my house? Am I putting all this money down? What happens if I am out earning him? What happens if I'm like, all right, well, like your price point's, 475 and mine's 5 million. Like what, like what do you do with that? And this is why you don't know what life is going to bring you, but you do know that there's a path for you and you are going on that path regardless of who's in your life or not. So you have to prepare. You have to prepare and you have to be very, very clear about what it is you want.
Everybody we see too, again, like when you're younger, nobody realizes that looks fade. And everybody thinks that you're going to be, you're beautiful, you're beautiful and I'm quite handsome, but everybody thinks that you're going to be swinging from the chandelier from the rest of your life. Okay. This is why we tell everybody, make sure if you're going to get married and you're going to do that, you don't have to be married nowadays. That's a thing of the past. Nobody's telling you to
legal up. You can still legal up.
Yes.
You type up an agreement and get it lawyered up and be like, and then every couple of years you amend it. You make a constitution of our relationship. Let's say you and we're in a relationship. I adore you. You're my man. Wonderful. We've been together 4 years and now boom, let's talk about investing. Like, let's get our houses on point. Let's do some shit together. Let's make some money. Awesome. I love you. You love me. Wonderful. Okay. But, love and a bag of Doritos isn't going to cut it should we break up. Exactly. Right. So we want to say, all right, look, I love you and I want us to be safe and prepared. And I don't want us to have fighting and awful. I want us to just always have this contingency plan because life can take us in different directions. And I don't ever want to have ugliness and fighting and awful. So let's put together some kind of paperwork. We get lawyered up. We can even have the same lawyers. I don't even care. I just want something that says we are buying this house together. Lisa is putting up this much money. I'm putting up this much money. And forevermore, we will have this living.
You love me and you don't even know my name.
I call you baby.
But that's what we tell everybody. Like after the love and the butterflies go out of the way and everybody goes through their little phase, it becomes a business transaction. Why? Because you have assets, because you have things invested, because you have time invested in that person. That's why when somebody cheats on somebody, like if you're married for a year and somebody cheats on somebody, you're able to get over it pretty quickly. When you dedicate 30 years to somebody, okay, and dedicate 30 years of assets and 30 years of money and 30 years of all that, that's when you have the guy kicking in the door, shooting their wife or the wife shooting their husband because they've invested.
People get crazy. They get crazy.
Because you've invested so much time. It actually changes your mindset compared to, it's like if Lisa borrowed $100 for me, yeah, it might hurt my pocket and I hate it. She never gave it back to me. But if Lisa borrowed $1 million from me, I'd be coming to knock on Lisa's door. It doesn't make sense to people. So all these people have to realize that, yes, you're with somebody, you may love somebody, but it also turns into a business transaction. And if you don't educate yourself, it winds up, the business transaction becomes a disaster. You don't, love turns to hate very quickly.
Very fast. And it doesn't have to with the right people, the right education, guiding you through the process. Everybody can have all the information right there up front. But if you're lazy about it, see, that's the other thing we got to handle is you can't be lazy. This is your life. You cannot be lazy in your life.
Yeah.
right? You gotta be like, I want a house. My husband and I are buying a house. We want to look at what are you going to do with that house? You're having kids in that house, or is this the starter house? What's this, a 5-year plan or 10? What are you doing? It's really looking at your life and both being on the same page. That's the key. Is,
Hmm.
what is the bigger purpose here? What are we doing as a couple? What are we doing individually? What are we doing in the world? Like, it's a bigger thing. It becomes a bigger thing. And a lot of people are very short-sighted and they're going for the comfort.
Well,
And it's, market.
I like the
Go
word
ahead.
you use. I like the word you use plan because nobody plans. A lot of people act on instinct. A lot of people act on their feeling. But again, I know you. I could already tell that I know you tell all your clients make a plan.
Yeah, you
Plan
gotta have
something
plan.
ahead. Know what
You
you're
gotta
supposed to
work the
do.
plan, dude.
Yeah.
You want anything in life, a business. Look, if you're single and you want a person, number one, write down all the qualities, attributes, values, everything that you want in that person so that
Yeah.
then it's real. Number two, go back to that list, circle everything you already have that you want in that other person. Loyalty, honesty, I make good money, I'm financially solvent, I'm this, and all the things that you want in that ideal person, circle the ones you have. Anything that's left off, those are the things that now you aspire to attain yourself.
Yep.
And so in that process of bettering yourself, you up the chances of finding and attracting that person. Like attracts like. So you have a plan, work the plan,
And
and you'll
that
be
applies
fine.
right in that applies right in real estate too. We tell everybody make a pros and cons list. Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can walk into a house and say, I love it right away. It's got everything I have. But at the same time, what are the cons of the house? If the obviously, like you're saying, if the cons outweigh the pros, then you need to move on to the next house.
Yeah.
If the pros outweigh the cons, then you found either your match or you found the person you want to be with. But I can't even tell you how hard it is just to get somebody to write a list. Most people want, and again, being the internet's out here now, and they see that, flip this house, or they see these TV shows that everybody's in love, so I want to be in love. It's the newest fad. Let's all be in love. Everybody calls me every day and says, I want to flip a house. I want to buy a house and flip it. I'm thinking about getting into flipping. Well, I see it on TV. I have people telling me, Ron, you think I should paint my house because I watched on HGTV? I'm like, you sound like an asshole, just like they do. You sound just as big as an asshole as they do, because nobody walks into your house and says, painting my house is going to cost me too much money. No, they
Right, but
walk
they
in.
watch Curb Appeal and they get crazy in
Exactly.
the head and they think if
Yep.
they put a new mailbox in the front, they could charge another 20 grand for their house.
And just like your relationship, I'm sure you have everybody telling you all the time, but the sex is good. She looks so hot or he looks so hot. That doesn't mean that you're meant to be with somebody. And you
Right.
know as well as I do, people that are ready to separate and people that are trying to work it out, they think that having sex is going to keep you in the loop together and that makes them feel a part of it. Same thing with real estate. People think that, oh, I'm reading everything on the computer. Now I know real estate. I read an article on real estate. I know all about real estate. No, you don't. That's why there's professionals. That's why there's professional hitches or love doctors like
Yeah.
yourself. And there's
Yeah,
the real
for
estate
sure.
superheroes for a reason. Because nowadays with the internet and YouTube, people think they could go watch a video and do your job.
Yeah,
When
for sure. Oh, for
again,
sure. And there are so many schlocky coaches out there. They like never went through a certification process. Like I went to like a college, like
mhm,
legit year of my life with one of the top coaching accreditations. Because think about it, I went to Rutgers University, not a shitty school. And
no,
so I'm looking at the bigger picture. I'm like, if I'm on LinkedIn and I have all this amazing body of work that I did working for PR firms, public relations firms in New York City, global firms, Rutgers University graduate, and then life coach, like, wait, what? What?
oh,
Right? So I said,
everybody's an entrepreneur and everybody's a life coach now.
oh my God. So I was like, no, this is too delicate a topic. I'm trying to help people in their marriages, handling family issues, dealing with major transformational, like life transformational shit. Like
Mhm.
you were living your life for 20 years with your college boyfriend or husband, and then bam, divorce. And you're like, what the hell? I'm 42. What do I do with myself now? You have no idea. So it's a very delicate thing that you're helping people with. Even single people that have dry spells for years and years. I've been celibate for 4 years. I can't have a date. I don't know. They're like traumatized, and you're trying to help
Told you
them.
to
So anyway,
stop talking about my situation live.
so what I ended up doing was I took my divorce very public on social media. I declared a 90-day post-divorce detox, and I codified my methods, and I took myself off the dating market. I went full on inward in my nutrition, my fitness, um, therapy, Reiki master, energy healing. I mean, if you told me, Ron, like, Lisa, take this egg and put it on your head and hop on one foot and you'll feel better, I would have done it. I would have been like, I'm in, give me the egg, I'm in.
Oh,
Because that's
man.
how like hurting I was, right? And so to keep myself accountable so that I wasn't, out every night at clubs and being ridiculous, I wanted to go through this process, and I went on my Facebook and I said, okay guys, I'm doing a 90-day post breakup detox. Day 1, day 2, every day I would like document my progress. I lost a bunch of weight. It was like I couldn't eat. It was a big thing. Anyway, I came through the other end. So they saw the whole process, and as I got stronger and they saw me having like big wins in my life, these people were like sending me questions. Oh my God, this thing happened. I'm going through a breakup. You're like my hero online. Oh my God. So I felt responsible. And then they're like, can I sit with you for an hour? I'll pay you. And then I was like, okay, wait, I have to get certified. I have to look into this. I have to get some kind of accreditation that makes it legit. Because to your
Mhm.
point, anybody can look at a YouTube video and think that they're going to like repair a marriage. But,
Yep.
and truthfully, at the time, I thought that, oh, I could talk to people and make them feel good. But then I was like, wait a minute. There's talking to people and giving advice, and then there's coaching. It's a method. And when I decided to do this and go all in on it, I said there needs to be a big financial commitment on my behalf so that I stick with it and I do it and I learn it, and it's like a course,
Yep.
a curriculum. I did my accreditation. There are several, but you want to really make sure you do one that's like really legit. Mine was the Institute of Professional Excellence in Coaching. It's IPEC is the name of
Yep.
it, and it's accredited and endorsed by the International Coaching Federation, the ICF. So I wanted to be like the Harvard, Yale, Princeton of coaching.
Mhm.
That's what I wanted to do. And the people who have IPEC certifications, like they coach Fortune 500 companies, they go to Microsoft, Google, places like that. I just fell in love with the love life aspect of it, the dating, relationships, self-love, rebuilding after divorce, rebuilding after even couples who I was working with a couple where their net worth declined, and they were so afraid that it was going to break them apart that they hired me to coach them on the rebuild. And luckily, they were smart with their money, and they were together for a long time. They were together around 22 years. And, they were able to get it together, but they started to notice a lot of this,
Mhm.
and a lot of flirtation, a lot of disappearing and not just shady shit. And
Yeah.
they decided, let's come together. We have this 22-year thing, kids involved, like, let's pull it together. So, look, something is going to bite you in the ass eventually. Life is full of things that are just nothing more but experiences for us to
Very
grow
good.
from. That's it. Everything is
But
growth.
could you have,
And
but could you actually have given, and this is what I can't stand, like somebody that doesn't go through something, if you've never gone through something, if you've never been married, if you've never had your feelings hurt, if you've never had kids, if you never played a down of football like I did, okay, and then you see these people that take a class and then they try and coach, and the newest biggest thing, the newest biggest fad is the 10-day challenge, the 3-day challenge. And I heard you
yeah,
before. I heard you
yeah,
before say you did a 90-day challenge to
90
yourself,
day,
but
90
then
day.
what happened after that? You continued it, and the
Yes.
consistency always wins. These people
Well,
do
yeah,
30,
yeah, for
30-day
sure,
challenges
for
and
sure.
stop. 30-day
Yes. And,
challenges,
and the
10-day
thing is,
challenges.
like, I mean, you know, look, you want to do like, oh, the 2 week, it works for certain industries, I guess, but not for the stuff I do. What I do is
It doesn't
incredibly
work for anybody. It doesn't
it's
work for
very
anybody.
transformational. You know, I'm like, listen, oh, meet your man in 72 hours. It doesn't work that way. You know, get over your divorce in a weekend. No, no. And the
No.
people who want that quick fix, you know, they don't want to do the work. So what my thing was a 90-day detox. And what happened was when I got to the end of it, I knew I was good because I asked myself, how are you, Lise? How are you feeling? And I'm like, I love this shit. I want to go another 30 days. I'll go
Yeah.
another 60. I loved being by myself. I loved creating this environment for myself where I was healthy. I was just a different me. I emerged different. I transformed. And there's an expression, it says, you know, it takes 21 days to get rid of a habit,
Yeah.
and then it takes 90 days to adopt a new lifestyle. And that's what I was after. I was a classic codependent and I wanted a new me. I wanted to radically change the way I enter and behave in relationships because the way I did it before did not work. It didn't serve my ex-husband, it didn't serve me. And when I got through that process and I just sat there and I said, the common denominator, all this is me. And that's good because I can change me. Can't change anybody else, but I
Most
can change
people,
me.
one of the biggest industries in the world that nobody even talks about is rehabilitation. And
Yeah.
it's just like a crack addict. It's just like the heroin epidemic. People go into rehab for 3 weeks, a month, and guess what? If you don't come out and realize that you have to change you, you could be clean for 30 days. Okay. But it's the people that are consistent like you were afterwards. It's the people that want to keep educating
Yeah.
themselves and keep
And I
being
keep
coached.
doing it. I keep doing it. Like I have coaches. I have a business. I have a business coach. I
Yeah.
have you know, and a coach that helps me with SEO and getting out of my own way when it comes to blogging and putting content out and those little voices that are like, don't be
And now
that
you have
bold,
a
don't
real
say
estate
fuck.
coach.
Like so, you know, yeah. And like, you know, oh, and I'm just like, I go for it all now, you know, because I stepped into and I do that work. Where now, look, if you're going to serve people, you can't do it half-ass. If you're going to take on
No.
that responsibility of serving people and you're coming at it that way, I just was given amazing opportunity here in South Florida, big region of South Florida, a radio show, morning show host
Well, nice.
to a radio show that deals with male empowerment, empowering men to be the best men they can, right? Nice. So it's going to be me, the sportscaster from like our local, I think it's a CBS affiliate, whatever. He's going to come on with me, and this other sidekick guy, a producer. And we're going to be talking about all these kinds of things, you know, just empowering people to make good decisions, solid decisions, whether it's buying a house, finding the love of your life, whatever. It's you have to go inward and you have to do what's right for you and you have to use your common sense.
Yeah,
Cool?
it's true.
Nice.
It's
So
true.
listen, I could talk to you all night, my friend, my new friend, Ron. I could talk
Same
to you.
here.
But
Same
listen,
here.
I have a session with someone up in Boston, and I love that we had this conversation, and I'm hopeful to connect with you again and collaborate, and we can help some people. Cool?
Definitely. I might have to take a flight out there and come on the talk show.
Totally. I love that. Look, anytime I can hang with my Jersey people, I love it. I love it.
All
This
right.
was a delight. I'm really grateful that you had me on.
No, it's my pleasure. Thank you for doing it with us and educating people because that's what we're all about doing.
Excellent. So listen, if people want, I have a free gift that I can give to your audience if you're into it.
Let
So
them know.
I do a free Love Life assessment. And
Oh,
you go to lovequestcoaching.com, lovequestcoaching.com, and you'll see a picture, get your assessment. And I'm like this. And you click on the picture and it pops up and there's a bunch of questions. You answer them. They come to me directly and I sift through and I come back to you with like, here's where you're at. You know, this is what you can stand to improve. This is where you're getting a little danger zone. This is where you guys are awesome. Keep doing that. And you get like an assessment, almost like when you take your car in, they don't do any work, but they tell you what's up. Same deal. Cool?
and what you got to tell your clients is to send up the signal for your real estate
Yes.
superheroes. And word of mouth is the best thing. So again, I'll
Yes.
definitely promote you around because you had a great
Thank
time.
you. Thank you so much. And
Thank
go
you for
Rutgers.
being with us. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.